Welcome to the Third Win channel and the annual iCarly Awards, this time around for season 2 of 2022. I'll quickly mention, if you're unfamiliar with this channel, we do lots of iCarly content and we did episode reviews for every episode this season, so go check those out if you haven't already. And let's begin this annual iCarly rewards by looking at last year's. So last year's we did these 10 awards actually it's 14 awards on the left, 10 for people, and then 4 for like episodes or whatever. And then you can see on the right as well the awards taken last year. Last year, Carly really blew away the awards. So let's see what happens this year with our very first award, which will keep pretty much the same as last year, with Best Duo. So here I considered a few, but it was less. There were less options than last year. But in the end, I thought that there was one duo that stuck out to me more than the others, which was Carly and Spencer. They had at least 2 episodes where they were kind of either in one episode they had this sibling rivalry, in another they were helping each other with dates. This season I really felt that Carly and Spencer energy that I didn't feel in the first season. They kind of addressed, them growing up together and all this. And I really thought they were a fun duo, especially in that 7th episode and also in iCupid, where Spencer gets real bummed out about, all these years that have gone by. So I really do think that this was the best duo of the season. Moving on, our best character of the season. And this time around, it was pretty simple for me. I think Carly really shined last season with the return of the web show and iCarly as a whole. But this season, someone who really dug themselves out of the mud was Freddie. And I apologize a little bit for being sick. If you guys hear that, I'm a bit congested. But the awards go on nonetheless, and Freddie wins the award for best character. The reason being, look at this man. He's got 2 girls on his tail. Obviously, he was in a very happy relationship this season. His daughter is doing well and also finding love. His app is doing phenomenally, and he's finally found some money as well. Everything seems to be going well for him. He's got friends. Everything is just connecting. He just had a great birthday as well. So I really do think that Freddie fought out of the mud this season, and it just had so much going on. So he really had to be the best character for me this season. He's just done great, and I love all the stuff Nathan Kress adds to the character, the acting, everything. Freddie was phenomenal this season. Moving on, we got our best new character. Last season, this award went to Millicent, and this season, this award will go to Paul. I think Paul is a great addition to the show. I hope that he appears more and more. I think that this kind of male presence was really needed in the show. So, Paul, great character. Hope we see more of him. Love Josh Peck. Moving on to our next award is our best guest appearance. And here, I had no doubt in my mind about who it could be. I could say, the monkey was great, or you could say the granddad was great. A lot of things could have been great, but no one even compared to Lubert's reappearance of the show. Played perfectly, super funny, and I just loved his craziness, and that whole episode as a whole was really beautiful, honestly. So Lubert takes the cake 100% here for best guest appearance. Last season we had Neville, so we're really taking these big guest appearances and they're presenting them really well. So Lubert for sure. Next up, we got the humor award, or class clown, or whoever's funniest of the season, and this one was actually really difficult because I don't know, for whatever reason it was easier to decide last year, but in the end, after a lot of thinking, I decided that this year Spencer deserves the award. A lot of random funny moments with him. I love that he brought the monkey in the courtroom. He had, of course, his whole 30 days in law school coming into play, which I thought was really fun. And there's just a lot of moments with Spencer this season, whether it be him depressed or sad or happy or whatever. I think Spencer deserves to be getting the humor award this season. Next award, we have most successful, and here I don't think there is any doubt. I've kind of talked about it in a previous award. The one who found so much success this season was Freddie. Everything went for him. Everything worked. His app, his relationships, everything has gone well. His daughter, even still producing the web show, everything has worked out for him. So definitely Freddy, no discussion, no need to talk about it. Moving on, we have our most evil, which was an award that made more sense last season. We had lots of villains coming in, but if I really had to think about it, who in this season could be like pointed to as maybe presented as evil in ways, I have to strangely give this one to Carly. We have our second episode where she loses the court case where she was antagonizing Lubert. We have our ninth episode in I Hit Something where she just senselessly beats up this kid for pranking her. There's just a little bit too much. And she was even labeled by her whole fan base as evil and, breaking Wes and Bo's heart. So, the Ice Queen. So, I have to give it to Carly. Is she evil? Maybe not, but some of her actions this season definitely land her this award. Let me know if you disagree. Next up, we got our biggest disappointment. Last season, this award went to Spencer because I felt like he was my favorite character in the original and he let me down a little bit. This year, definitely not going to Spencer. I feel like I've either gotten used to him or he's improved. But I also just couldn't decide on someone I would label the biggest disappointment. I think I was closest to giving it to Harper maybe, but I think you guys decide. What do you guys think who was the biggest disappointment this season? Not a fun award to give, but be honest, let me know in the comments who's the biggest disappointment. Next up, we got Needed More Time Award. Last season this went to Miss Benson and she got much more time and boy was that well done. This year I think the one that needed more time was Paul. Um, you could argue like the monkey needed more time for that, but I tried to pick a character that was somewhat main character. A lot of characters got time this season, but I think Paul, he got 2 episodes. Could have given him 3. I think he's a great addition to the show. Obviously, Josh Peck is a busy actor, slash other things, but if I had needed to choose one character that needed more time, I'd say Paul for sure. Next up, we got our biggest lovebird. And last season, it was super obviously Carly. By the way, go watch last season's awards show if you wanted to see all the awards. Just covering some of them. But this season, the biggest lovebird has to be in my book, Freddy. He has the cruddy stuff in the very first episode. Then he's kissing Pearl in the middle of this big party. Then in the last episode, he has this love triangle going on. And then when Millicent has a crush, he's just so obsessed with that crush. Like he's like, oh, Millicent, he's our Mr. Lover this season. It has to be Freddy. So he deserves this reward this season. And moving on, we have just our 10 rewards kind of summed up. Usually there's 11 awards given out because of the best duo, but there's 10 awards, and this time I let you guys decide one. So we've given out 10. Freddy this season takes the cake with 3. Carly takes 2. Paul takes 2. Spencer takes 2. And Lubert takes 1. I think that Freddy is really the winner this season. He received 3 nice awards. Carly got most evil, right? But Freddy really is our winner of the season. I think that's appropriate, just like Carly was last season. But the awards show isn't over because these are the individual character awards. But now we head into the more overarching awards like best episode and best moment. So stick around. 4 more awards to give out, and we'll start out with best episode. And you guys will know that if you've watched my episodes tier list video that came out yesterday, that the best episode this season for me was the one which I found most entertaining, most fun and good story and everything and moral, blah blah blah. It has to be I Object Lubert. You can go check if you want my full kind of description of all the episodes of the season. You can go watch the yesterday's episode tier list. I also talk about our next award, which is the worst episode, which on the last one you could argue that there are people who didn't think that I Object Lubert was the worst best episode, but I've seen in everyone's rankings, I've seen I dragged him as the lowest one. I don't think I need to justify it because it seems like everyone agrees. It's just it was too much in one episode and it just stood out as one that was not quite as good. I don't know how to put it otherwise. 3 plot lines in 20 minutes is just a little too much. And I think the RuPaul's Drag Race crew kind of was squeezed into the 2 plot lines and it kind of blurred things a little bit. And it kind of distracted from what could have been a great episode about, for example, the game show or Millicent in the UN, blah, blah, blah. Moving on, we have our best Easter egg. Last season, I gave this to Baby Spencer, and this season, I'm going to give it to a more subtle one, which I thought was fun. And it seemed like a lot of you guys enjoyed it as well, so I figured let's give it to the feet mention. You know, the Dan Schneider feet mention. I thought that was really funny. In episode 6, I built a team, so I figured, yeah, that's a good Easter egg. I'll put that as the winner. Although so many good Easter eggs came from that second episode, I object Lubert, like Chuck and Guppy and Gibby, and Gibby could have been here as well. But I decided to give it to the feet one because it seemed like it was a really popular one in the comments. And moving on, our very last award, and honestly one of my favorite awards, is the Best Moment Award. Last season, the Best Moment Award went to our cliffhanger finale in I Returned to Webicon. But this season, the best moment came really early in the season for me. This is a moment I still kind of recognize as one of my favorite moments in the whole show. I even made a whole video about it. But that best moment goes to this episode 1 moment between Carly and Freddie. I think some of the best moments in the show come between Carly and Freddie, but this is where Carly asks if any old feelings are resurfacing for Freddie with all this fake dating. And you just get some of the best, most heartfelt acting and, looks between them. And it's just such a great foreshadowing scene for the rest of the season. I love this moment. You can go check out my video, Is It Time for Creddy, if you want. I got inspired by this scene. It was really a great moment. But let me know what your favorite moment was. And that about wraps up our show. But I'll let you know, we have just released the iCarly character tier list for this season, as well as a season 2 episodes tier list. So lots of content after the season is done, kind of summating the season. So you can check those out if you're interested. And otherwise, that's been the 2022 iCarly Awards show. I hope you enjoyed the video. More to come, and I'll see you guys soon. This has been the Third Win channel. See you guys at the next annual iCarly Awards show in 2023.